So if I could show you a way in which I could knock 20 years off your life, would you be interested? Of course you would. Would you be even more interested if I said it involved no gimmicks, no fancy tricks, no surgery, no facial treatments, none of that stuff? I'm going to show you by rattling through 20 or 30 different ways of changing your life, small ways that you can implement straight away that makes you feel 20 years younger. Don't forget, actual age is mandatory, but how you feel, that's optional. Let's start with the first one, which is mindset. Now, it appears to me that loads of people these days just have the wrong approach to their lives. They feel like because they are a certain age, it is now time to stop doing some things, to take up other things because you are 40, 60, 50, 80, whatever. I just don't think that's correct. I think we have to now start being appropriate for how we feel rather than appropriate for how our chronological age is. For mindset, I think it's really interesting that especially in the West, we always equate age with infirmity or starting to be no longer capable of doing things, whereas in fact, it's not necessarily the case at all. Almost any walk of life where you have to have experience to be good at something, surely age is a positive. So why don't we just, in our minds, equate age with experience, in which case we're just getting better as we get older. We're not getting worse at all. That whole mindset shift is what's required to really get the best out of the second half of our lives. Let's talk all things body now. And that is not sometimes a bit of an uncomfortable fact when you reach advanced old age like 40 or even 45, never mind the age I'm at. So I think body habits are really important, and I'm just going to rattle through a few of them which I know I should do. Some of them I do, others I could work at. First one is exercise. You have to exercise like you mean it. You have to be in the exercise zone and you have to push yourself a bit. It's by pushing yourself when you exercise that the benefits accrue. All right, let's talk about diet. Diet is an absolute minefield. We all know that. Why is it that so many people would rather follow the latest fad than follow the fact that we've all been taught over our lives the correct way to eat? If we choose not to do that, that's something completely different. But following a diet of some strange fad or other is not going to make you different from how you are. So for me, the sensible stuff is plenty of veg, not too much carbohydrate, plenty of protein. If you keep to those 3 rules, you're not going to go too far wrong, provided you add one other. Variety in terms of diet is something which I always think is really critical. If you have something, if you go off the rails and have a major blowout one day, that's okay, provided you don't do it the next day. If you have some fast food one day, that's okay, provided you don't do it every day for the next week. All of these things are about changing. As long as your diet is changing all the time, then I don't think it can possibly be too bad. Next one, sleep. I know that sleep is the kind of hot topic these days for health. People say, oh, you have to get enough sleep. And these things that sit on our wrists and monitor how we're sleeping are actually terrifyingly accurate in my case. But I think they sometimes put us under too much pressure. So like food, I think if you have a bad night's sleep, it's not going to cause any problems in the long term. If you have 100 bad nights sleep, then you're into a bit of a different situation. But I don't think sleep is something that you can really alter too much, provided you're getting enough. And what's the absolute measure of whether you're getting enough? How do you feel the next day? Do you feel full of energy, or do you feel like you're absolutely knackered at about 7 o'clock in the morning? Whatever. Just make sure that you try and keep yourself so you don't feel too tired during the day and you're getting enough sleep. Okay, let's go and look at another good item for your bodily well-being, and that is get yourself a set of scales. They are the absolute best way of making sure you don't get too much weight on. And I know to my cost that sometimes we don't measure stuff as well as we should. We kid ourselves and we end up maybe putting on 20 or 30 pounds over a year or two. Measuring yourself on the scales once a week or so tells you whether the trend is going in the wrong direction or the right direction. That for me is a really good measure and a really useful thing to stay in touch with. A couple of small things I'm just going to cover now. And in the background, you can see the first one. When I work, I stand at this work desk. I don't sit down. Maybe more than once every hour or so for maybe 5 minutes. I use that workstation all the time, and it really does help. I've discovered that if I stand all day, I can really feel my legs have had quite a good workout. If I do that every day, it works great. And provided you have a good workstation, you can actually get yourself into the habit of always standing. And I've been using this now for 3 or 4 years, no more than that actually, 5 years, and it has absolutely revolutionized the way I work because I can type, I can write reports, I can talk to people. I've got the camera, I've got a decent microphone. This is a really good way of working so you don't end up sitting down all day. It really does work. Let's move on and talk about another area which can be tricky for people of our vintage, how we look. And it's no good pretending that we're not the age we are, but there are things we can do and it makes us feel better. Firstly, wear clothes that fit. This isn't something that you have to spend a fortune on. Wear whatever clothes you want, frankly, provided they are clean, they are not worn out, and they fit you properly. Ill-fitting clothes make you feel bad and make you feel like you're not fit to be seen out. Next up, keep your regime going in terms of how you look facially. Get yourself a decent pair of glasses. Get yourself shaved if you're a bloke and this is how you are, this is your image. Make sure that you keep yourself in the way that you want to look. It's important to basically keep your standards up. If you look nice, if you look good, if you feel fit, it moves into your head and you feel positive about yourself. Right, let's move back inside our heads again now and let's talk about social things. In order to roll back the years, it's important that you get inputs from other people, and for that you don't have to have it from anything other than talking to your friends, trying to meet new friends, putting yourself into different spaces and meeting other people. Social is important. It's amazing how easy it is sometimes to fall back into a world where you never go out. I think I don't tend to laugh as much when I'm on my own as I do when I'm with other people, and I think that's fairly universal. If you're not laughing, you're probably not enjoying yourself. Just a quick tip, say yes more often when people ask you, do you fancy going out? Do you want to go to the cinema? Do you want to go, I don't know, to some social event, even go down the pub? Whatever, just say yes. You never know, it might be a complete waste of time. On the other hand, it could be a really enjoyable evening out. And another one, which I think is absolutely critical, is for your brain health. It's really important to keep challenging yourself. Take yourself out of your comfort zone a bit. Try and learn something new. Two things which I've been doing this year. One is I've been teaching myself more and more about the whole world of artificial intelligence, AI, ChatGPT and Claude. They're really interesting things. I really enjoy learning about them. And by the way, if you're not familiar with those themselves, it's well worth having a look at, because they feel as important to me as the internet did 30 years ago when that came out. We were told it was going to revolutionize the world. Those of us who kind of fell into it got a little bit of a head start. AI is going to revolutionize the world in ways that we can't possibly know. Now is the time to get familiar with it, and learning about it gives you a real sense of purpose, and that is a great stimulus. The other thing I've been doing this year, I bought myself a drone, which has been great fun. That is an example of something where I'm challenging myself a bit more. The other thing which I stumbled across, which I didn't really understand until I actually had a quick look into it, because I was curious, by the way, and that is, people talk a lot about practicing gratitude these days. I thought, what the hell, that sounds like a bit of new age mumbo jumbo to me. And yes, I am a 60-plus-year-old and I have a bit of an aversion to that sort of stuff. Until I looked into it and discovered that actually all it is really is stopping, thinking, and agreeing that the world is actually not quite such a negative place as it sometimes feels. Practicing gratitude, yes, I do. I am very grateful for everything I have been given in this life and for everything which I have earned. Yes, I do always feel like that. And occasionally I do stop. But the thing which makes me stop and think about all the things I've been granted and how lucky I am is that it's so tempting when the world is in such a state of uncertainty, as it is now, let's face it, to feel like there is nothing you can do, that everything is down and grey and the world is an unpleasant place. And for me, that's a massive trap that is very easy to fall into. And I always make sure, at least once a day, that I think things are okay. Things are okay at the moment, and I'm feeling quite good about things. If that means I'm practicing gratitude, I'm on board with it. Okay, I've covered a lot of ground on this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, there'll be more coming along like this. For me, life is about enjoyment, and we can do it lots of different ways. And I'm going to be basically running this channel on the basis of making sure we make the most of our lives. It'd be great if you would subscribe, and if you like this video, by all means give me a sign by saying that you liked it, or even commenting. That would be great too. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks, bye.